Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome to another special episode. This is an international special as we have a couple of friendly matches for Gibraltar. The first one here you can see is going to be against Bermuda. And the second one, I can't remember who that's against. Let's have a quick look. It's going to be against Singapore. So two matches they could actually win. Bermuda, I'm thinking they should win. Singapore might be a little bit more difficult. But they're both, all three teams are pretty close in the world rankings. You see Gibraltar now up to 168th, so that's the highest they've ever been. A win over Bermuda would push them even further up that list, I believe. Where Bermuda? I think Bermuda are actually underneath them, so where are we? 160. I'm sure it's 160. Oh, we're on here somewhere then. You can probably see. I can't. There we are. 168th. So we're looking pretty good actually, and like I say, I think a win here against Bermuda would push them even higher, and I fancy it. And for the first time in history in this game, Gibraltar are the favourites to win the match. Let's have a quick look at the team they've got set up. And it's very much our team once again. Well, they're playing Coling in goal again. I'm not happy when he's in goal. I much prefer when McDonald's in goal. Not quite sure who he plays for actually. Who's he play for? He plays for Man 62. He's the #1 keeper. I prefer when McDonald's in goal. Alright, left back we've got our Joseph. Good left back. I think we're going to get a lot more of him this year. In the centre we've got obviously Steve Cooper, our player, very good player. Alongside him we've got Stuart Cook. I'm terrible with names, but Stuart Cook for his second cap, only 16 years of age, looks like a good player as well. On the right hand side we've got the free agent that is Scott Wiseman, who he will not sign for me because he wants to be full time. Apart from that he's happy. Okay. On the left hand side they're playing Anthony Hernandez. First time he's been played out on the left, but he looks like a pretty decent player once again. Then we've got the rest of the midfield is all ours. We've got obviously Stuart Conroy, recently signed for us in this transfer window. In the middle we've got Frank Evans, come back from a big injury, but he has played 3 Champions League games so far this season. Alongside him, of course, Tristan Sargent, really good player once again. Good long shots. We might have to allow him to use those long shots at some point, but he did score the goal of the season last year for Europa Point. On the right hand side we have Tony Ball. He's been quite good as well actually. He's done well in the Champions League matches. And then up front on his own we have Michael Luke, a player who we're hoping does better this year. He had a decent start last year, but it never really went well for him. He has played 1 Champions League game, got 1 goal, 1 assist, so hopefully we'll do a bit better this year. But let's have a look at this match, see how we get on. But I'm feeling a Gibraltar win in this one. I don't know why, I just feel like a Gibraltar win. I think they've defeated more difficult teams so far, so this one should be a bit easier for them. And yeah, I think they'll do well. Our Singapore game I think is going to be a little bit more difficult, but I still think they could win both these matches. And if they do, it'd be a fantastic episode. Like I said, the whole point of this this save file here in Foot Manager is not only to obviously win the Champions League with Europa Point, which is our long-term plan, but it's to enhance Gibraltar as a football nation as well. And that's why I'm bringing through a lot of young Gibraltar players. That was always my main idea, was to bring these young players through and see how they get on. At some point, of course, we might have to get some players that are non-Gibraltarian, just to try and boost ourselves up. If we can go professional, I think we can start to buy some pretty damn good players, but I'm not sure if the team will let us go professional yet. I am going to try, because something that you would have seen in the season preview is after we lost in the Champions League second round to Malmo, we were given a lot of money. I was so surprised. We got £12,000 for TV rights, and I was saying, oh, that's a really successful season for it. There's Michael Luke with a goal after 10 minutes to put Gibraltar in the lead. Michael Luke, his first ever goal for his nation in his 3rd cap. Great goal for him. He took it on the 2nd attempt, headed against the crossbar, then came back down and headed into the back of that. Yeah, we lost to Malmo in the second leg of the second round, sorry, the Champions League. And I was thinking, yeah, we got 12 grand for the TV rights, we got a full house. It worked out pretty well for us on the money. And then UEFA gave us nearly £400,000 for being knocked out. That's a massive amount of money, and that's really going to help us out this year. Michael Luke almost getting his 2nd of the game. Remember, the all-time record goal scorer for Gibraltar is currently on 2, and that's shared between Frank Evans and another guy. I think it's Gosling, who doesn't get in the squad anymore. So Frank Evans is the top goal scorer really at the moment. So yeah, we're sitting pretty now with about £300,000 in the bank, because we were about 100 grand in debt. before the beginning of the season. So we're sitting pretty now, 300 grand in the bank. Maybe we can go professional, who knows? We've only got a very small wage budget. Of course, if we sign people up to full-time contracts, they're going to expect higher wages, but with 300 grand in the bank, if we continue to get Champions League every season, if we just get knocked out in the second qualifying round every season, we do that another 2 years, we'll have £1 million in the bank. So it's definitely doable. I think it is. Second half here of this game. Gibraltar lead 1-0 over Bermuda. And I still don't think Gibraltar's going to be anywhere near good enough to get themselves, obviously, into a major competition. I still think if they're going to a qualifying for the Euros, anything like that, they're going to end up getting hammered quite convincingly in every single game. But still, you've got to start slow, haven't you, I suppose? And they are building themselves up. Joseph with the cross. It's kicked clear. But I think that was Lamb. They're doing pretty well here, Gibraltar. Leading 1-0 at half-time. On comes Warren Doherty, not one of our players. I don't know who Warren Doherty is, actually. First time I've seen his name on one of these. Obviously, he's been doing pretty well for another team. Of course, the majority of this Gibraltar side is ours. I think, apart from the goalkeeper, Scott Wiseman and Warren Doherty now, all the other players are ours. Steve Foster's just come on. He's one of ours. We brought him in the summer. In fact, we brought him in the summer and he's getting his first cap for Gibraltar already. Paul Gallardo, not sure who that is. New name to me. And it looks like they might be able to hold out and keep this one for 1-0, but it's looking tight, isn't it? Conroy comes off and on comes John McDonald, another one of our players. Probably one of the best players we've got. Frank Evans comes off as well, which is good because, like I say, he's just come back from a long-term injury. He's been out for about... it was originally supposed to be 4 to 6 months, but we sent him to a specialist and managed to get it down to just 7 weeks, I think. So he's back now. I think he's fully fit. He should be ready to start the season in a couple of weeks' time when we take on Europa FC, a massive game to start the season. Michael Luke scores his second goal of the game, which also makes him joint top goal scorer in the history of Gibraltar. He's done it in one game. He's become joint top goal scorer. One more goal for Michael Luke and he becomes the outright top goal scorer for Gibraltar in history. And is that Tristan Sargent there with the assist? It is. So Michael Luke is showing that he's in pretty good goal scoring form, so hopefully he can translate that across into his league form for us in the next few weeks. It's going to be very, very interesting. But it looks like Gibraltar are going to win the match 2-0 to pick up their third victory in international football in the space of a year. That's incredible for Gibraltar. They've not been a fantastic team at all, and now all of a sudden they're winning games. I know it's only Bermuda. We're still at the very low level of international football, but you've got to win these games to build yourself up the rankings. And of course they've got a big game coming up against Singapore, which we're going to get straight into now. And here we are with that second friendly match. It's Gibraltar once again at home, this time taking on Singapore. Singapore look like the heavy, heavy favourites for this one. But I'm still not sure. I'm not sure, you know. I don't think they're that strong. Let's have a look at their key player. Yeah, he's nothing, is he? He's not even a real player. So they haven't got any real players at all by the looks of it. But look at the odds. The odds are saying 50 to 1 for Sky Bet for Gibraltar to win and 1 to 33 for Singapore to win. Yet the Gibraltarian Football Gazette is expecting a 1-0 scraped victory for Gibraltar. Right, team-wise, what have they done here? What have they done? Okay, they kept with Coling in goal. Morandi. Cooper stays at centre-back. That's good. So we only got one defender this time. They keep doing this. They keep putting lots of our players in the first game and then dropping a few. But midfield-wise, we're still dominating. Joseph, who was playing left-back in the last game, now playing left midfield. Conroy, Sargent and Evans keep their positions. And Michael Luke, of course, scoring 2 goals in the last game, stays up front. And you can see why he is scoring goals. Look at them stats. He's fantastic. And 3 caps, 2 goals. I think he's going to be a massive, massive player for Gibraltar in the future. But let's get into this match. Let's see if Gibraltar can make it 2 international wins in 2 matches. I'll tell you one thing that has quite annoyed me of recent. Every time I view one of these matches, of course I have to attend the match. The media go on and they say Shabby Gamer spotted at the stadium for the international match, and they're saying we think he's just taking advantage of the free travel. like, no, I want to watch my players play. I want to watch the nation that I'm managing play. But for some reason, they're just assuming that I'm doing it for free travel. It's got a bit annoying though. I didn't mind it the first couple of times, but surely when I've got this many players from our team on the pitch for a national game in a stadium that we play our home games in anyway, why wouldn't I be there? I want to see my players do well. I want to see Michael Luke score 2 goals. I want to see him score another one. If Michael Luke scores 1 more goal, he becomes the outright top goal scorer in Gibraltar history, or Gibraltarian history, on his own. Come on, guys. Can you do it? Can you do it? You got a 2-0 victory in the game against Bermuda. Can you make it 2 wins out of 2 with a victory over Singapore? Looks like it's going to go to half-time at 0-0, which it does. No highlights at all in that first half. So Steve Foster's come on, which is one of our players. So that's quite good. We've got more players on the pitch now. I think that means that the majority of the midfield, if not all of the midfield, is now ours. We've only got 1 defender on the pitch, and of course the striker's ours as well. Warren Doherty's come on, so that's taken one of our midfielders away. That's taken Joseph. Okay, he's taken off the left back, dropped Joseph back and brought on Warren Doherty. On comes Stuart Cook to bring another one of our players on the pitch. So now there's only 2 players on the pitch that are not ours. 3 players, so that's Wiseman, Coling and Doherty. Now on comes Tony Ball. Another one of ours. And Jason Lee Oliveira for the... Oh, Michael Luke's been taken off. That's a bit of a shame. But Tony Ball's on. He had a very good few matches in the Champions League for us. He made a couple of good assists. On comes McDonald for Conroy. And this could end up being a 0-0. Well, a draw is not too bad. I think they'll still get some points towards their FIFA rankings with a draw. But obviously a win would really boost them up a bit higher. But Singapore are on the attack. Che Ali to Mondrazali. Oh, they've got past Cooper and they've scored. Sam Pakiaraj. Pakiaraj? I can't even pronounce that. I really can't. This is why I wanted to play in Gibraltar, because I know that the names are easy to pronounce. When you go... I've seen other people do saves in San Marino, which I think is a bit more difficult to pronounce the names. And I've seen a couple of guys do it in China, the 2nd division in China, and just I'd struggle so much. I struggle with the names in our team in this country, let alone the ones in China. I'd really struggle to remember all those. Gibraltar now look to be on the attack. They're looking for the draw. They're 1-0 down at home to Singapore, which is a bit of a shame because this is a match you'd expect them to win. Foster plays a great ball through to Frank Evans. Oh, Evans! Evans had the chance. He would have become the all-time top goal scorer himself with 3 goals if he'd scored that. And it looks like they're going to lose 1-0 at home to Singapore. It's a shame because they did so well in the first match. A corner in the dying seconds. Joseph plays it really deep to Cook. Gets headed back in, cleared by Che Ali, and Singapore do pick up the victory. Disappointing, I'm not going to lie. Disappointing. Gibraltar with the majority of the shots, but possession-wise, Singapore dominated. Maybe that's one of the reasons why. Let's have a quick look at the end of the match. Abdul Latif was the man of the match with 3 key passes. Nobody necessarily played very well. If a 7.4 is enough to get you the man of the match, you know it wasn't a very good game. So let's whiz forward a couple of days and we'll have a look at the FIFA rankings. Right, I have gone forward a few days and it looks like that win and loss doesn't seem to have done anything. They seem to be pretty stationary where they are. I don't know if that's going to change soon or not, but at the moment I've gone forward a few days and it doesn't seem to have changed. We do have some more friendlies coming up pretty soon. We've got an away game against Latvia and then a home game against Saudi Arabia. 2 more difficult games. They're coming up in October, so let's have a quick look where they're going to be. So they're going to sit there. So probably after our first 3 games, we're going to have just sat in between these 2 matches here, between Lincoln Red Imps and Man 62. So I will leave you with that. We're going to come back for our next episode. We've got the Pep Reyes Cup, which I haven't got a clue what this is, but I'm going to assume that it's like a community shield. So we'll come back for that match, and then of course the 2 big starting matches of the season, Europa FC and Lincoln Red Imps. That's going to be our next episode. I hope to see you all there. And of course, if you have enjoyed this one, be sure to slap that like button. It does help me out a lot. And of course, subscribe for a lot more of the Gibraltar Challenge. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you all next time.